Members of the jury, having sat through this trial all week, you know the same thing that I know. That this case is about young people who are out of control. But those young people were Kay Denning and Andrew Dornberg, not Zeta Lambda Nu, the fraternity. It's natural for Kay Denning's mother to look for answers somewhere to explain the tragic loss of her daughter. But those answers begin and end with two out-of-control young people. Andrew Dornberg and Kay Denning herself. Now, Ms. Khatami is right that in a few minutes this case will be up to you to determine. The judge will send you back with a verdict form that asks you whether or not Zeta Lambda Nu was negligent and whether or not that proximately caused Ms. Denning's death. But that's not the only question you'll be asked. It's not the only thing that you'll have to answer. Because when cases like this arise, the defense, like Zeta Lambda Nu, is allowed to put forward a claim that actually someone else was negligent. In this case, we've chosen and we've proven that Kay Denning herself was negligent and that her own negligence was a proximate cause of her death. And we have to be able to talk about Kay Denning's actions, even though she can't be in the courtroom today. Because our justice system demands that when her mother brings an organization in and asks you to hold them liable, our justice system demands that you're able to consider all of the facts. Now, some of those facts that you heard today were that Kay Denning was underage. That on the night she jumped from this lifeguard chair, she'd smoked marijuana. But not just that, you heard that she'd been drinking for hours on her own, away from the fraternity, drinking liquor out of this cup, while the fraternity served beer to people over 21 out of these. Did Kay Denning use ordinary care? Or was she negligent? Well, after drinking for so long that night, and after smoking marijuana, Kay Denning didn't stop there. Because Kay Denning decided, after having drank so much, that it was a good idea for her to climb this lifeguard chair. All 12 feet to the very top. And when she got to the top, she didn't sit down in the chair. No, she decided to stand up. And whether you think she fell or jumped, what we know and what you saw demonstrated was that she went head first over the front after standing at the top. Members of the jury, that was not ordinary care. Whether Zeta Lambda Nu put the lifeguard chair there or not, jumping off the top of that chair was not ordinary care. It was negligence. And of course, Kay Denning's decision to drink so much, to smoke marijuana, to stand on the top of the chair, and to jump off approximately caused her death. So if you write down yes on your verdict form next to Kay Denning's name, then you'll begin to ask whether or not Zeta Lambda Nu used ordinary care. Now, some of Zeta Lambda Nu's actions are attributable to them, some of them to Andrew Dornberg, and I'd ask you just to parse each action Andrew Dornberg took and ask yourselves, based on the law the judge will give you, whether or not Andrew Dornberg is acting on his own initiative or on behalf of the fraternity. Because his flirting with Kay Denning and trying to hang out with her after Zeta Lambda Nu's party, just like when you leave work at the end of the day, isn't attributable to the fraternity any more than your dates are to wherever you work. Some of his actions are on his own behalf, and you'll have to parse through that. After parsing through, if you still answer yes next to zeta lambda nu, which I don't think you will, but if you do, you'll have to weigh K. Denning's negligence and that of the fraternity. And as you do that weighing and assigning percentage, there's no magic formula for how to do that. But as you weigh those things, consider this. While K. Denning was away from zeta lambda nu's party, getting alcohol elsewhere, zeta lambda nu didn't know about it. Not even 1%. When K. Denning decided to smoke marijuana, zeta lambda nu again didn't know. Not even 1%. And when K. Denning decided to climb every rung of this lifeguard chair, drunk and high, and stand up at the top, zeta lambda nu didn't control her actions. Not even 1%. So as you weigh the negligence on both sides, I think you'll come to the natural conclusion. Now some of you may think zeta lambda nu's was 5, 10, or even as high as 15%. But you'll know as well that K. Denning was a bigger cause of her own untimely death. We'd ask you to find zeta lambda nu not liable. Thank you.
All right, great.
All right.
And is there anything?
Hazard, couple minute closing. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Sorry you had to sit through this.
You guys are so good. You guys are a pleasure to watch.